The sun cast golden light upon the forest, painting shadows beneath the tall, ancient trees surrounding the grove. The Buddha sat serenely on a rock, the gentle breeze carrying the scent of wildflowers and distant mountain streams. His disciples gathered around him, their robes swaying gently with the morning breeze. An air of serenity embraced the moment. "Blessed One," Ananda began, his voice trembling slightly, "my heart is restless. I am overwhelmed by the endless information around me." The Buddha raised his eyes to meet Ananda's, his gaze calm and profound, as though piercing the very soul. "Ananda," the Buddha said, his voice resonant yet soft, "tell me, what troubles your mind so deeply and clouds your thoughts?" Ananda hesitated before replying, "I cannot distinguish what is meaningful. The abundance of knowledge consumes me and leaves my soul empty." The Buddha observed Ananda closely, a flicker of compassion passing through his face like sunlight on flowing water. He reached down and gathered a handful of sand, the grains trickling freely through his fingers back to the ground. "Consider this sand." "Ananda," the Buddha said, spreading his palm outward, "if you try to hold all, your grasp will fail." He continued, "When a traveler sets out on a long journey, he chooses carefully what he will carry and leave behind." Ananda nodded slowly, sensing that he was standing at the threshold of understanding, yet not fully grasping the lesson. Another disciple, Subhuti, interjected, "Blessed One, how can we determine what to carry and what to discard in our minds?" The Buddha inclined his head slightly, acknowledging Subhuti's question, his eyes glinting like the ripples of water under sunlight. "Subhuti," he replied, "ask yourself this: does this knowledge align with your purpose? Does it nurture your journey toward awakening?" His gaze swept across the disciples as he continued, "Discard what burdens your spirit and dims the light of clarity within you." He leaned back slightly, resting his hand lightly on the rock, letting silence settle around his words like a calming mist. After a moment, the Buddha's voice broke the silence again, drawing the disciples back into his tranquil orbit of wisdom. "In seeking wisdom, do not strive to consume all. Instead, let your mind be the lamp that illuminates your chosen path." Ananda's face lifted, a small smile emerging, as though the fog in his mind had started to dissipate under the Buddha's light. "Blessed One," Ananda said, bowing deeply, "I understand. I must choose what resonates, what nurtures my spirit, and what aligns with truth." The Buddha nodded silently, his smile barely perceptible, yet imbued with the warmth of infinite compassion and subtle encouragement. Another disciple, Channa, spoke hesitantly, "Blessed One, what if the knowledge I seek conflicts, leaving me unable to discern what is true?" The Buddha placed his hand over his heart, his movement deliberate, gentle, as though holding the weight of the world itself. "Channa," he said, "truth lies not in the conflict but in the stillness. Let your heart listen when your mind wrestles." He elaborated, "Find the wisdom within the silence and stillness. In balance, conflicting thoughts resolve, revealing their greater harmony." The disciples exchanged glances, nodding softly, as though each had discovered a thread connecting their inner struggles to the Buddha's lesson. Subhuti leaned forward eagerly, asking, "Blessed One, is there a practice to calm the mind and navigate the storm of endless information?" The Buddha gestured toward the flowing stream nearby, its gentle babbling harmonizing perfectly with the forest's rhythmic whispers. "Like this stream," he said, "let your thoughts flow naturally. Do not hold too tightly or resist the current of understanding." He added, "Meditation cultivates awareness, allowing the restless mind to surrender to clarity, much as the stream accepts the shape of its bed." The disciples murmured their agreement, feeling the weight of their anxieties lighten under the Buddha's wise and compassionate guidance. Subhuti closed his eyes briefly, breathing deeply as though attempting to embody the practice in the moment itself. The Buddha watched with quiet approval, his silence an affirmation of the disciples' budding efforts to grasp the teachings given. Ananda, he addressed again, remember this: the abundance of knowledge is neither good nor bad. It is how you carry it within yourself. Ananda's brows furrowed, and he asked, Blessed One, how can we avoid distraction when the abundance overwhelms and tempts us? The Buddha's lips curved softly into a smile, and he said, Let the mind be the ocean. Do not fear the waves but embrace the depths. He stood slowly, his movement deliberate and steady, turning his eyes toward the horizon where distant mountains met the sky, as the traveler sets his sights on the farthest peak. Let your mind center itself on the clearest purpose, he said. The disciples followed the direction of the Buddha's gaze, their thoughts drawn outward to the infinite expanse beyond the grove. He added, The distractions may ripple like waves, but the purpose holds steady, guiding the soul's vessel toward awakening. The forest grew quieter still, as if the wind itself paused to listen to the essence of wisdom spoken by the Blessed One. The Buddha turned back to his disciples and continued, Let the mind be both vessel and traveler, seeking balance on the journey. His voice softened. A restless mind drowns in its own depths, but a mindful heart breathes freely amidst infinite horizons. The disciples bowed in reverence, their hearts lighter, their minds more composed under the guiding light of the Buddha's timeless teachings. Ananda remained standing, his eyes luminous as though reflecting the tranquil clarity gifted by the Blessed One's words. The Buddha glanced at Ananda and said softly, Carry this wisdom forward, Ananda. Let it ripple through your life and the lives you touch. He sat again, folding his legs into a meditative posture, allowing silence to cloak the grove. Timeless and transformative, the disciples, inspired and composed, dispersed into the forest to reflect deeply and carry forward their steps toward awakening. Another day, the forest awoke to the symphony of chirping birds and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. The Buddha walked along a narrow path, his presence as calm as the still waters of a quiet pond, in a nearby village. Ravi, a young seeker, had been preparing eagerly to meet the Blessed One for the first time. Ravi was known for his insatiable curiosity, spending hours reading, learning, and questioning, yet finding himself burdened by confusion. As the Buddha entered the village, Ravi approached him with a deep bow, his expression a mixture of hope and unease. Blessed One, Ravi began, I have sought knowledge tirelessly, but the more I learn, the less clarity I seem to have. The Buddha looked at Ravi with gentle eyes, his expression mirroring the vast compassion that enveloped all who sought his wisdom. Ravi, the Buddha said, his voice steady and kind, knowledge is a flame that can either illuminate or consume. Tell me more. Ravi hesitated before continuing. I delve into countless teachings, yet my thoughts clash and leave me restless. I cannot find peace. The Buddha motioned for Ravi to follow him, leading him to a quiet corner where a lamp and a mirror were placed. Bring the lamp and the mirror here, Ravi, the Buddha said, his tone gentle yet filled with a sense of purpose. Ravi obeyed, setting the lamp and the mirror before the Buddha, his heart beating with anticipation for the lesson to come. The Buddha lit the lamp with a single flicker of fire, its flame steady and casting a warm glow upon the space. Ravi, the Buddha began, this lamp represents your seeking. Its light has the power to reveal both clarity and confusion. He placed the mirror behind the lamp, its surface reflecting the glow of the flame, shimmering softly in the subdued light. The mirror, the Buddha continued, represents your mind. A steady flame reflects clearly. An erratic flame distorts and blinds. Ravi watched in silence as the Buddha moved the lamp slightly. the flame flickering and causing the reflection to waver. When you seek too much, too fast, the Buddha said, your flame burns wildly, and your mind reflects chaos instead of truth. Ravi's brows furrowed as the weight of the metaphor began to sink in, his confusion giving way to quiet contemplation. Blessed One, Ravi asked, how can I steady my flame and let my mind reflect truth without distortion? The Buddha smiled softly and replied, cultivate balance, Ravi. Seek with intention, not haste. Embrace stillness to discern what truly matters, he added. In stillness, the mind becomes like a calm mirror, reflecting truth as it is, not as it appears in turmoil. Ravi felt a glimmer of understanding, his restless thoughts beginning to settle like the surface of a pond after a storm. The Buddha continued, do not seek to know everything, Ravi. Instead, seek to illuminate what is essential for your path. Ravi bowed deeply, his voice trembling with gratitude. Thank you, Blessed One. I will strive to follow your guidance and steady my flame. The Buddha reached out and placed a hand on Ravi's shoulder, the gesture both comforting and grounding. Remember, Ravi, the Buddha said, knowledge is vast, but wisdom lies in knowing what to seek and when to let go. The village elder, who had been listening nearby, stepped forward and asked, Blessed One, how can we guide others struggling with overwhelming knowledge? The Buddha turned to the elder, his gaze serene yet probing, as though inviting a deeper reflection on the question. Guide them, the Buddha said, as you would guide a child lost in a dense forest. Begin with the nearest clearing. He elaborated, do not overwhelm them with the entire path. Offer them one clear step at a time, like a steady flame in the dark. The elder bowed respectfully, his heart filled with gratitude for the simplicity and depth of the Buddha's response. The Buddha turned back to Ravi and said, let your heart lead your seeking, not the endless voices of the world outside. Ravi nodded, his eyes filled with newfound determination to navigate his quest for knowledge with mindfulness and balance. The Buddha rose, his movements fluid and deliberate, and gestured toward the distant horizon where the sun dipped below the hills. As the sun knows its course, so should you, Ravi, the Buddha said. Seek purposefully and let your light guide others. The disciples who had accompanied the Buddha remained silent, their hearts touched by the profound yet simple wisdom shared. The Buddha continued, the path to clarity lies not in accumulation but in release. Let your seeking be a harmonious flow, not a storm. The wind carried his words through the village, mingling with the rustle of leaves and the quiet murmurs of those present. Ravi felt as though a weight had been lifted from his shoulders, his mind no longer consumed by the chaos of excess. The Buddha said, may your lamp burn steadily, Ravi. Let it light your path and inspire others to find their way. He turned and began walking toward the grove, the evening light casting a golden glow upon the tranquil scene. The villagers watched in reverence as the Buddha departed, their hearts filled with the peace and clarity his words had bestowed. Ravi stood motionless for a moment, gazing at the lamp and the mirror, their symbolism etched deeply into his soul. Blessed One, Ravi whispered to himself, I will carry your teachings forward and strive to let my light shine with purpose. The grove welcomed the Buddha back as the night fell, the forest embracing his return with its serene, timeless presence. The disciples gathered around him once more, eager to reflect further and immerse themselves in the teachings of the Blessed One. The Buddha sat beneath the ancient Bodhi tree, his calm presence a beacon for all seeking wisdom and liberation from suffering. His teachings, like ripples on still water, flowed gently outward, touching hearts and guiding minds toward awakening and peace. Another day, the morning sun pierced through the canopy of trees, casting golden patches of light upon the forest floor. The Buddha sat cross-legged beneath the ancient Bodhi tree, his form serene, radiating tranquility as the world stirred around him. His disciples gathered in a semicircle, their eyes fixed on the Blessed One, eager for the wisdom he would impart. Among them sat Mira, a visiting scholar known for her eloquence and deep understanding of philosophical teachings from distant lands. Mira bowed respectfully and said, "Blessed One, I come seeking guidance to help others overwhelmed by thoughts and uncertainties." The Buddha regarded Mira with a gentle gaze, his expression filled with compassion and the calmness of unshaken clarity. "Mira," the Buddha began, his voice even and soothing, "the mind is like a pond, disturbed by many stones thrown at once." He paused, allowing his words to settle like ripples on the surface of water after a stone's quiet descent. "When one seeks to help others," he continued, "do not hurl answers all at once. Offer one teaching, clear and simple." Mira nodded slowly, her expression contemplative, as though turning over the Buddha's words in the depths of her mind. "Blessed One," she asked, "how can I discern which teaching is most helpful when their struggles seem vast and endless?" The Buddha lifted a stone from the ground and gently tossed it into a nearby pond, creating steady, expanding ripples. "Do you see, Mira?" the Buddha said. "The stone represents one thought or teaching. Its ripples spread far, touching distant shores." He added, "Offer one truth at a time. Let its ripples settle and reach the depths of their minds without disturbance." Mira closed her eyes briefly, her breathing steady, as though seeking to internalize the wisdom etched into the Buddha's words. A young disciple, Nanda, spoke up hesitantly, "Blessed One, what if their minds remain restless? Their anxieties unrelieved despite our guidance?" The Buddha turned his gaze to Nanda, his eyes like still pools reflecting the serenity of the boundless sky. "Nanda," he said, "do not attempt to still their storm entirely. Begin by guiding them to observe their thoughts without judgment." He elaborated, "Teach them to let their thoughts arise and fade, like clouds passing across the vast expanse of a clear sky." Nanda nodded, his expression brightening as though he had grasped a new and liberating perspective on guiding others. Mira asked, "Blessed One, how do I remain patient when their doubts overwhelm and the ripple of wisdom seems slow to reach?" The Buddha replied, "Mira, a farmer does not pull at the shoots to hasten their growth. He waters and waits in trust." He continued, "Offer your guidance with patience and compassion. Trust that the seeds of wisdom will grow in their time." The disciples listened in silence, their hearts absorbing the profound simplicity of the Buddha's words like thirsty soil in rain. The Buddha picked up another stone and tossed it into the pond, this time watching the ripples meet the first ones. He said, "Notice how the ripples meet yet do not collide in chaos. Each follows its path, creating harmony instead of conflict." Mira observed intently, her heart swelling with gratitude for the clarity unfolding before her through the Blessed One's teaching. "Blessed One," she said, bowing deeply, "I will heed your guidance and offer one truth at a time with patience and trust." The Buddha inclined his head slightly, his silence an acknowledgement of Mira's resolve to carry forward the wisdom shared. A breeze swept through the grove, rustling the leaves and carrying with it a sense of peaceful transformation among the disciples. The Buddha continued, "An anxious mind, Mira, is like a turbulent sea. Help them find their anchor and stillness will follow." He added, "Teach them to focus on the breath, the most fundamental rhythm of life, steady and unchanging amidst all else." Mira nodded, her eyes glistening with both understanding and determination to integrate the wisdom into her life and guidance of others. The Buddha concluded, "The greatest gift you can offer is clarity, not answers. Let your guidance illuminate their own path forward." The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts resonating with the timeless teachings that flowed effortlessly from the Blessed Ones. Compassionate wisdom. The pond rippled gently, reflecting the sunlight that now bathed the grove in warmth and light. A mirror of inner tranquility, Mira remained seated, her heart filled with gratitude, as she resolved to carry the Buddha's teachings to those burdened by uncertainties. The Buddha turned to the group and said, "Go forth with compassion. Let simplicity and patience guide your efforts in aiding others." The grove fell into serene silence, the teachings settling into the hearts of the disciples like seeds in fertile soil. The Buddha closed his eyes in meditation, his form a symbol of perfect balance and stillness amidst the world's turbulence. The disciples dispersed, each carrying the wisdom learned into their hearts, ready to share it with the world beyond the grove. Mira stood under the shade of the Bodhi tree, gazing at the pond, its ripples now calm, reflecting the infinite sky. The teachings of the Buddha continued to ripple outward, touching lives and guiding minds toward awakening and the embrace of peace. In silence, he said, "Compassion speaks through presence. Sometimes, the heart hears what words cannot convey." Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.